Hey guys, a real quick video here on the completion of the Grunow 6C that I've been working on for my dad. I'll show a few still photos here of the mechanical aspects of the restoration followed by the electrical, which was just concluded. Overall, the restoration ended up being rather easy. The majority of my time was actually spent on the mechanical side, again dealing with the derusting of the chassis. As you can see here in the photos, there was some rust, not real bad. Not as bad as some of the radios I've completed as of late, like the Shanti Clear 2D570. But again, this thing was a mechanical beast. I've never seen so many screws, washers, nuts. I tell you, the mechanical engineering on this particular Grunow was something. Again, I started out the restoration itself by removing the tuning condenser and the bracket that holds the tuning condenser to the chassis. For those of you that had the opportunity to watch one of the prior videos on the restoration of this Grunow 6C, you'll recall the tuning condenser itself was totally seized up. The primary reason for the seizing was the secondary shaft, all the ball bearings and all that, just some old grease. It was just all clogged up in there, so the tuning condenser actually wouldn't even move. I didn't take any photos when I was cleaning out this shaft. Again, I just used degreaser numerous times and just kept cleaning all the gunk and the grease off of the old shaft, the center pin, as well as a spring that was down inside the shaft itself. Got all the ball bearings cleaned up, and then I did apply grease. Again, I used the Labelle's product. It's a synthetic product. You guys get a chance, check it out. Here's a quick look at the tuning condenser after doing the derusting. Running it through the ultrasonic cleaner numerous cycles. Again, the old bracket that I mentioned, I actually hit it with some zinc paint just to clean it up a little bit. Still has some pitting, but it's in much better shape than it was. Again, the transformer housing itself derusted, and here again you can see some photos of me applying paint. Again, this is the chassis itself after derusting. As I mentioned in the earlier videos, I elected not to paint the chassis itself. After removing the rust with the rust-free product, I actually coated the chassis itself with this Piclix 20 product. Again, it should make for a nice rust inhibitor. Time will tell. A few additional photos here of the chassis before reinstalling the power transformer, and again after applying the rust inhibitor to the chassis. So let's spend just a few minutes here and talk about the electrical restoration. Again, I'm sharing some photos here that I've shared before. You can see some of the legacy components that are in the radio. Some of these definitely are original. You can see the repairs have been made, and a lot of the repairs that have been made are substandard, as you can see here in the photos that are depicted. A couple videos back, I took the electrolytic can capacitor and actually opened it up using tubing cutters. Here again, I'm actually getting ready to stuff a new electrolytic capacitor inside that can, and just again some of the prep work. I tell you, when I first looked at this radio, I was very concerned about the electrical restoration. Again, with all those parts kind of cut off and things installed, it looked really odd, but the electrical restoration was straightforward. Again, you probably saw in some of the other videos I had the big old schematic blew up. I just followed everything out. Took my time. Electrical restoration was straight, forward. Again, I've got the new caps in. You can see there's a great picture of the electrolytic where it's been stuffed. I replaced the out of tolerance resistors as well. Cleaned up very nice. A lot of old grime and dust here too below the chassis. Spent a lot of time on that band switch, getting it cleaned up, deoxed, and then everything lubricated. In addition to using the deoxid on the band switch, I also used it on the tubes themselves, as well as the tube sockets, and cleaned them out really good. I also hit the tubes themselves, the pins, with an abrasive pad. Also took these tube shields and cleaned those up and made sure I had nice contact there with ground. With spring less than 1 week away, I want to go ahead and get started on that Shanti Clear 2D570 cabinet, wrap up on that restoration complete. In between, again, I'll probably tackle the Zenith 808 as well. So stay tuned. Again, thanks for joining. I appreciate you taking time to watch the video, as well as my new subscribers.